Hello students, today we are going to learn about absolute value. First of all, the vocabulary for absolute value. The definition of absolute value is how far a number is from zero, or the distance a number is from zero. So here we have absolute value. This is the symbol used for absolute values. They're like a long L or just a straight line between numbers. So this is absolute value of -3. And the answer is 3 because the distance from 0 to -3 is 3 units. Now, absolute value of 3, also the distance from 0 to 3 is also 3. So they're the same answer even though there's different answers in here. So the absolute value of -3 is 3 and the absolute value of 3 is 3. So the distance is never negative. So absolute value of -15 equals 15. And what do you think the absolute value of 15 is? You are correct. It's 15. And there's a brief introduction to absolute value. You should have heard about it a little bit in 8th grade. Let's go on to the next one. Okay. Now, when we put x inside the absolute values, when you first see the problem, you get absolute value of x equals 4. Now, there can be two solutions. What can be in the x value? Well, we can put -4 because the distance between 0 and -4 is 4. So we know that we could put in for x, we could put -4. Now, we could also put +4 because +4 is 4 units from 0 as well. So x could be -4 or +4. So your original equation here can't be a negative number, but inside here it can be a negative number. So there's two solutions to x, absolute value of x equals 4. Again, -4 can go in there because -4 absolute value equals 4 and absolute value of 4 equals 4. So there's two solutions. Now, when you have absolute value of x equals 0, there's only one solution. What's the distance 0 is from 0? The only solution is 0. There's not going to be a positive and a negative answer there. Now we come down here and the original equation, absolute value of x equals -2. If your original equation has -2, distance is never negative. So there is no solution to this problem. And again, you should be taking notes, writing this down. And if I need to stop the video, then I can stop the video. Okay? So again, there's 3 different solutions there could be. There could be 1, which is only when it's 0. There can be 2 when this number out here is positive, and there can be 2 solutions, and there's no solution when the one on the outside is -2. If we put anything in here for x, we can never come out to -2. Okay, now I would like you to open up your yellow packets to page 23. And somehow they got printed weird, so it's in the middle of your packet even though it should be in the front. Okay, so we're going to do a few of these problems together. On number 4, absolute value of x equals all of this. So we're going to figure that out and see if it's positive or negative. So if we have 2 times 4 is 8 minus a -2, multiplication or subtraction comes first. We know it's multiplication, so we go 8 subtract -2 equals, when you subtract a negative, it becomes positive, so that is 10. We ask ourselves, is that a positive or negative number? It's positive, so we have absolute value of x equals 10. So again, the original problem, the answer is positive, so we can put x equals -10, or x could be +10. Okay, if we put that back in here, then you get the correct answer with x equals 10 or x equals +10. Okay? Now we're going to jump to a harder problem. I believe this is on the back side, where we have the absolute value of x equals 4 over 2 plus absolute value of negative 7 squared plus 7. So the only thing we want to do is make sure after we do all this that it comes out positive. Because if we do all the operations and your answer is negative, there's no solution. So 4 over 2 is 2 plus absolute value negative 7 squared is 49. Absolute value of that is 49 plus 7. Now, is that going to result in a positive answer? 49, 50, 51, 58. So the absolute value of x equals 58. Now, is 58 positive? Yes. Now, what can x be? Well, x can be either negative 58 or it could be positive 58. So either of those answers work, because if I put negative 58 in absolute values, it equals positive 58. And absolute value 58 also equals 58. And that's what we want the solution to be. Okay, we'll do one more difficult one, and then we'll let you work on it on your own. This one's on the back, I guess. 8 was still on the front. So absolute value equals all this. I don't know if it's positive or negative, but let's find out, okay? So we do parentheses first for order of operations. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. Okay, negative 7 minus a negative 5 becomes plus positive 5, so that's negative 2 on the bottom. And then I get negative 24 minus a negative 4. So that becomes plus a positive 4. And that would be a negative 20. So we get negative 20 over negative 2. And we do that. Negative divided by negative is positive. So since your result of all this is positive, then yes, there's going to be a solution. And so x can equal positive 10, but we could also put a negative 10 in there for x and still come out with the right answer. So your two answers are negative 10 and positive 10. Okay, now you can go ahead and finish page 23 and 24 all in your yellow packet. Thanks, and remember students, you rock.